Welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. We invite you to join us at 1 Oakleigh Avenue in North Providence, Rhode Island. This podcast is presented to you by The Way Ministries, supported by listeners like you. For donations, live videos, podcasts, and more, please visit www.thewayministriesri.org. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi everybody, welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. So glad you could join me today to get a portion of God's Word. Today we're going to begin a new book, the book of Habakkuk. We're going to introduce it, but before we get started, I want to say congratulations on reading through the book of Nahum with me. We're reading through all these minor prophets with a very important message and significance for our spiritual walk. Like I said before, if you're not perfect on time with this, it's okay if you fall behind. Just remember to be faithful to the Lord, and He'll be faithful to you. He's not judging our perfection. He just wants us to be faithful to Him, and He loves us unconditionally. So if life is catching up with you and you happen to fall behind, don't give up. Just keep on keeping on and keep moving forward. God will bless you when He recognizes your faithfulness. Okay, I'm going to introduce the book of Habakkuk, and we're going to get started. Habakkuk, Introduction. Habakkuk ministers during Judah's death throes. Though repeatedly called to repentance, the nation stubbornly refuses to change its sinful ways. Habakkuk, knowing the hard-heartedness of his countrymen, asked God how long this intolerable condition and its punishment can be endured. God replies that the Babylonians will be His chastening rod upon the nation, an announcement that sends the prophet to his knees, where God reveals to him that the just in any generation will live by faithfulness to God. Vital statistics. Author, Habakkuk. Date written between 612 and 589 BC. Purpose, to show that God is still sovereign despite the apparent triumph of evil. Themes, questioning God, God's sovereignty, and hope. Day 263. September 19th, Habakkuk, chapters 1 to 3. Living by faith in hard times. Overview. Habakkuk prophesies in Judah just before its final destruction at the hands of the Babylonians. Like Job, he honestly raises the perplexing issue of why a just God is silent and why the cries of the faithful seem to go unheard. 1 and 2. While the wicked swallow up people more righteous than they. 1:13. In reply, God declares to His prophet a timeless principle of trust in His sovereignty. The wicked will be dealt with in God's own way, in God's own time. But in the meantime, the righteous will live by their faithfulness to God. Chapter 2, verse 4. Chapter 1, questions and answers. Dialogue. Chapter 2, woes and warnings, monologue. Chapter 3, wonder and worship, devotion. Insight. Habakkuk, the quotable. Habakkuk 2:4. The last half of chapter 2, verse 4 is so significant that it's referenced 3 times in the New Testament, twice by Paul in Romans 1:17 and in Galatians 3:11, and once by the writer to the Hebrews chapter 10, verse 38. Insight. The prophet's psalm. Habakkuk 3, 1 to 19. Chapter 3 has all the characteristics of a psalm. A musical introduction, poetic images, reflection on God's works, praise for His promised blessings, and awe at His greatness. In the midst of confusing and discouraging circumstances, Habakkuk reflects on God's faithfulness in the past and His promises for the future. Not a bad example for anyone in troubling times. Habakkuk 1. This is the message that the prophet Habakkuk received in a vision. Habakkuk's complaint. How long, O Lord, must I call for help, but you do not listen? Violence is everywhere. I cry, but you do not come to save. Must I forever see these evil deeds? Why must I watch all this misery? Wherever I look, I see destruction and violence. I am surrounded by people who love to argue and fight. The law has become paralyzed, and there is no justice in the courts. The wicked far outnumber the righteous, so that justice has become perverted. The Lord replied, look around at the nations, look and be amazed, for I am doing something in your own day, something you wouldn't believe even if someone told you about it. I am raising up the Babylonians, a cruel and violent people. They will march across the world and conquer other lands. They are notorious for their cruelty and do whatever they like. Their horses are swifter than cheetahs and fiercer than wolves at dusk. Their charioteers charge from far away. Like eagles, they swoop down to devour their prey. On they come, all bent on violence. Their hordes advance like a desert wind, sweeping captives ahead of them like sand. They scoff at kings and princes and scorn all their fortresses. They simply pile ramps of earth against their walls and capture them. They sweep past like the wind and are gone. But they are deeply guilty, for their own strength is their God. Habakkuk's second complaint. O Lord, my God, my Holy One, you who are eternal, surely you do not plan to wipe us out. O Lord, our rock, you have sent these Babylonians to correct us, to punish us for our many sins. But you are pure and cannot stand the sight of evil. Will you wink at their treachery? Should you be silent while the wicked swallow up people more righteous than they? Are we only fish to be caught and killed? Are we only sea creatures that have no leader? Must we be strung up on their hooks and caught in their nets while they rejoice and celebrate? Then they will worship their nets and burn incense in front of them. These nets are the gods who have made us rich, they will claim. Will you let them get away with this forever? Will they succeed forever in their heartless conquests? Habakkuk 2. I will climb up to my watchtower and stand at my guard post. There I will wait to see what the Lord says and how he will answer my complaint. The Lord's second reply. Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. Look at the proud. They trust in themselves and their lives are crooked. But the righteous will live by their faithfulness to God. Wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths as wide as the grave, and like death they are never satisfied. In their greed they have gathered up many nations and swallowed many peoples. But soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, what sorrow awaits you thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. You've become rich by extortion. But how much longer can this go on? Suddenly, your debtors will take action. They will turn on you and take all you have while you stand trembling and helpless. Because you have plundered many nations, now all the survivors will plunder you. You committed murder throughout the countryside and filled the towns with violence. What sorrow awaits you who build big houses with money gained dishonestly? You believe your wealth will buy security, putting your family's nest beyond the reach of danger. But by the murders you committed, you have shamed your name and forfeited your lives. The very stones in the walls cry out against you, and the beams in the ceilings echo the complaint. What sorrow awaits you who build cities with money gained through murder and corruption? Has not the Lord of heaven's armies promised that the wealth of nations will turn to ashes? They work so hard, but all in vain. For as the waters fill the sea, the earth will be filled with an awareness of the glory of the Lord. What sorrow awaits you who make your neighbors drunk? You force your cup on them, so you can gloat over their shameful nakedness. but soon it will be your turn to be disgraced. Come drink and be exposed. Drink from the cup of the Lord's judgment, and all your glory will be turned to shame. You cut down the forests of Lebanon. Now you will be cut down. You destroyed the wild animals, so now their terror will be yours. You committed murder throughout the countryside and filled the towns with violence. What good is an idol carved by man, or a cast image that deceives you? How foolish to trust in your own creation, a God that can't even talk. What sorrow awaits you who say to wooden idols, "Wake up and save us." To speechless stone images you say, "Rise up and teach us." Can an idol tell you what to do? They may be overlaid with gold and silver, but they are lifeless inside. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. Habakkuk 3. Habakkuk's prayer. This prayer was sung by the prophet Habakkuk. I have heard all about you, Lord. I am filled with awe by your amazing works. In this time of our deep need, help us again as you did in years gone by, and in your anger remember your mercy. I see God moving across the deserts from Edom, the Holy One coming from Mount Paran. His brilliant splendor fills the heavens, and the earth is filled with his praise. His coming is as brilliant as the sunrise. Rays of light flash from his hands. Where his awesome power is hidden, pestilence marches before him. Plague follows close behind. When he stops, the earth shakes. When he looks, the nations tremble. He shatters the everlasting mountains and levels the eternal hills. He is the eternal one. I see the people of Cushan in distress, and the nation of Midian trembling in terror. Was it in anger, Lord, that you struck the rivers and parted the sea? Were you displeased with them? No, you were sending your chariots of salvation. You brandished your bow and your quiver of arrows. You split open the earth with flowing rivers. The mountains watched and trembled. Onward swept the raging waters. The mighty deep cried out, lifting its hands in submission. The sun and moon stood still in the sky as your brilliant arrows flew and your glittering spear flashed. You marched across the land in anger and trampled the nations in your fury. You went out to rescue your chosen people, to save your anointed ones. You crushed the heads of the wicked and stripped their bones from head to toe. With his own weapons you destroyed the chief of those who rushed out like a whirlwind, thinking Israel would be easy prey. You trampled the sea with your horses, and the mighty waters piled high. I trembled inside when I heard this. My lips quivered with fear. My legs gave way beneath me, and I shook in terror. I will wait quietly for the coming day, when disaster will strike the people who invade us. Even though the fig trees have no blossoms, and there are no grapes on the vines, even though the olive crop fails, and the fields lie empty and barren, even though the flocks die in the fields, and the cattle barns are empty, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in the God of my salvation. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, able to tread upon the heights. For the choir director, this prayer is to be accompanied by stringed instruments. My daily walk. A swimmer, far from shore, flails helplessly in the water. A lifeguard rushes to his aid and is greeted with the surprising retort, "Why don't you mind your own business?" Of course, the correct response from the lifeguard would be, "I am minding my own business, and you're part of it. You may not fully understand what I am doing, but just trust me to bring you to shore." Life is filled with occasions calling you to put your trust in a person even though you may not fully understand the process. A surgeon's scalpel, a pilot's skill, a doctor's prescription. These are all things you have learned to trust. Doesn't it make sense, therefore, to trust God when it comes to the business he specializes in? Habakkuk was distraught at seeing the wicked get away with murder, but the prophet's focus sharpened when he saw that he was trying to mind God's business instead of the business God had entrusted to him, the business of walking by faith. Faith is reason at rest with God. That is so true. That's all for today, my friends. It was great reading along with you. Have a great day and keep up the good work. And God bless. And I will see you tomorrow. Lord willing, peace.